Oh boy, do I have a video for you guys. Hey, hi, welcome back. It's Alyssa. I'm having morning coffee. I'm slightly put together, but not really. And elephant in the room, I had a blood draw. So if you see this, that's just somebody who massacred my arm taking blood the other day. So this video is super short, super fun. I just want to drop this in here to remember this moment, to commemorate this time. So the other day, Naomi, my podcast co-host, if you don't follow the podcast, go to the podcast. We have a good time. So my podcast co-host and I were talking, and she was like, "I think Chris Pines is my celebrity book boyfriend." And I was like, interesting. And I went on a little Google and I looked at what Chris Pines was reading. And then that got me thinking, like, who is my book boyfriend? Who do I relate to bookishly the most? And I'm on the Instagram, I'm scrolling around, and I go to Celeb Book Recs, which is the account for like all the infographics you would ever like on books that celebrities have said they love. And who turns up in my feed with just so much in common with me, but the daddy of the moment, the zaddy, if you will, Pedro Pascal. Pedro himself, the zaddy of the moment, is my book boyfriend, my book daddy,
But daddy is a state of mind, you know what I'm saying? I'm your daddy.
my celebrity bookish crush. Let's look at this. I'm going to pop up the infographic that I saw. And then let's talk about the things that I've read, talk about the couple things I haven't read on this list, and a little bit of like the Literary Hub. I did a little bit more Googling. Literary Hub also has an article where it looks like these books were pulled from. So let's talk about this. Right off the bat, what caught my attention is Loving Master and Margarita. This book is bonkers and wonderful and a total like acid trip of a book. And I loved this thing so much. Sometimes you have no idea what's going on, and that's okay. Like it's totally fine. The story is fantastic. There is like a mischievous talking sort of murderous cat, and I'm here for that. The devil is just causing havoc across Russia. The only people immune to it are the Master and Margarita. There's a story within a story going on. It is so freaking. I'm gonna ASMR it. It's so good. So yes, Pedro. Yes, I'm with you. Yes, Daddy. And then what does he have? 100 Years of Solitude. Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This book I haven't reread in a long time. I read this recently and this one recently, and I haven't reread this in a long time. So I started recently a reread of this because since seeing this infographic, I'm like, oh my God, I haven't read any Marquez in so long. So it's like I must read it. This I forgot how like magical and wonderful and lush his worlds are, and how much I love this magical realism. Sometimes the newer, more modern versions of magical realism just fall off a cliff for me. So I'm so excited to relive this story. I'm sort of early on, so they've just gotten their insomnia sickness. It's gonna be really interesting reading this while I have insomnia, because I do have that. Yes, like thank you, Pedro. He lost me at Franny and Zoe because I just don't like Kerouac. I only own one Kerouac anymore, and it's because a patient of mine actually recommended it because I guess he knew the people that Jack Kerouac was writing about, and it's a lesser known Kerouac. It's one of, I think it's his first novel before he became like really big in like beatniky, and that is The Town and the City, which I do hope to read. So maybe I can understand your Franny and Zoe love, Pedro, but right now we're not going to jive on that one. But you get me back with the next one, which I have not read yet, but it has been on my list for so long, and it is time for me to read it. So coming up soon will be Crime and Punishment. This edition is so old. I've I tried starting it when I was probably like 17. I was too young for that. When I'm done with my reread of 100 Years of Solitude, this is happening because I trust my book daddy to give me good recs. And then finally on his little list here is Jane Eyre. And if you've been watching these videos for a while, you know my absolute love of Jane Eyre. And my Naomi just sent me this copy of Jane Eyre that she thrifted for me so that I could annotate a copy. And it looks like someone's already annotated it because my copy is a really old hardback copy that you don't annotate in. And I want to reread this again for like the 97th time and finally annotate a copy. I probably had one from high school that I marked up, but I want the adult Alyssa relating to Jane, like a feminist icon of the time. Oh, I love Jane. If you do not believe that Jane Eyre has merit, I'm going to try to find the Green Brothers does a video thing and a video thing, a YouTube channel where he talks about like books and stuff, and he does a whole thing on Jane Eyre and why Jane Eyre is valid. Jane Eyre is very valid. Jane Eyre is fantastic. I am so impressed that Pedro, my book daddy, has this on his list. Yes, it's so good. It's so good. And he was on Buffy. We love him. Anywho, this Lit Hub article, which I'll try to link below if I can remember, so you can read it, also has Watership Down, The Urge, History of Addiction, which is interesting, just James Baldwin, which I agree with, a Spanish novel that I cannot read, and Toni Morrison. He also has some short stories from Daphne du Maurier, who you know I love. Daphne is my girl. So I'm sorry. I'm going to be filling in some of these gaps in my reading because I apologize to my book daddy for not having read all of James Baldwin, but we are working on that. And I just needed to share that I finally know who my book daddy is. I'm glad it's not someone sucky. Go through that Celebrity Book Recs account, which I will link in the description. And I want to know all of your like book boyfriends, book girlfriends, book non-binary partners. I want to know who your person is. Who do you in those infographics relate the most to? And especially want to know if they're like not who you think you would pick. Like you would pick like this person looking at them, but now looking at their books, you're like, oh no, it's actually this person I never thought about. That's what I want to know. I want to know that in the comments. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in my next video, whatever it may be, because it's my channel and I can do whatever I want, like get lipstick all over my coffee mug. Bye.
So just sit with me, talking to the night until the morning, building chemistry. I don't think I ever wanna go come closer next to me. Trying to find another way to say this, but I think